Hi, my name is Simon, and I've just been put on furlough. So what the f am I supposed to do with all my time? Well, I'm going to try and learn some of my favourite tunes and then recreate those recordings. Let's rock it! Welcome back. Right then, Jump! Van Halen! This is an absolute classic belter of a song. I remember going around my mate's house and watching live without a net, and it being such an amazing, incredible experience. This absolute band of characters, Sammy Hagar, Mark Anthony, and of course the legend, the icon, Eddie Van Halen. So why this song? Well, I wanted to challenge myself again, and there are certainly going to be some challenges in this song. I can think of two main issues with this song. The first one being it's synth based, and I don't play keyboards, so how am I going to go about that? Well, I've got a couple of ideas. We'll see how that goes. The other issue is it's Eddie Van Halen, and although it's a synth based song, there's guitars in there, and there's a solo, and there's finger tapping in that solo. Right, I'm just going to have to get on with this. Let's do this. Alright, drums. Now I'm going to be using Easy Drummer 2 in Pro Tools. I'm going to go over this relatively quickly, so if you want to see a more in-depth video of how I do drums, why don't you check out my Foo Fighters video, which should be a link up there. Anyway, I'm going to be using the tap to find function in Easy Drummer to find grooves in my library that match the drums that I need for the song. Right, let's have a listen. Pretty good. That's not far off what I need, but there's a lot of crash going on, or I think it's the hi-hat open. But what I can do in Easy Drummer, another really cool function in Easy Drummer, is I can change what the power hand is. So at the moment the power hand is playing the open hi-hat, and I'm just going to change that. Yeah, closed edge was that? Closed edge. Let's have a listen to it. Spot on. Then I can just grab this clip, bring it into Pro Tools. Job done. I'll do this for the rest of the song. Away we go. On to the next section. Right, synths. This is the iconic part of the song, so I need to get this bit right. But I can't play keyboards. So what am I going to do? Well, luckily I'm going to record this in MIDI, and that's going to help me out quite a bit. There are several ways to record MIDI. You can play it in real time. Or you can go in and you can literally draw notes in. Now I'm going to do a mixture of the two. I'm going to record the parts live, but the great thing about MIDI is I can slow it down to a tempo which I'll find way more manageable, and then I can go in and edit it. Now, found a video on YouTube showing me the notes to play on the keyboard. Perfect. Right, so I'm going to record the first part. you can tell I'm a pretty crap keyboardist. But I can still use that, believe it or not, to get the part down. Now I shall quantize this first because the timing was a little bit out. And now let's have a look at these notes. Now I think the first part was relatively okay, apart from there was definitely a note out. I think it was the second note. Yeah. So what I can do is literally just change that note. Now that end bit is completely shot. There's notes I don't need in there. Notes played in at the wrong place. What's going on here? It's that note, isn't it? Right, I think I've got that first part down pretty well. Now I need to talk about the sound of the synth because this is pretty important to get this right. I mean, this is the iconic sound of Jump. There are several ways of using synths in Pro Tools. You can use software synths such as Vacuum, which comes with Pro Tools. I mean, this is a crazy thing. But I know nothing about synths, so it will take me far too long to create the iconic sound using software synths. So I'm going to actually use samples, so very similar to how the drums work. You hit a note on the keyboard and it will play a sample. Now I found a guy online who's sampled the same keyboard that they used on the Jump record. So I can use my sampler in Pro Tools, use those samples and get the exact sound of Jump. Awesome. Saves me tons of work. So there you go, there's a quick look at how I'm going to do the synth parts. Now I just need to record the rest of it. See you in a bit. Alright, so that synth part took a long time. At the end I was literally doing it note by note, which for the solo was pretty killer. On to the bass. Looking online over the years, Mark Anthony has used all sorts of guitars, but I did spot that he's actually had a Schecter signature, which is great because I'm going to be using my Schecter Rob DeLeo's signature 5-string bass. I only need 4 strings. Looking at the tabs, it looks pretty straightforward. It's about keeping the rhythm. So I'm just going to get on with it. Right then, on to Eddie's guitars. Right, I'm going to do the fill parts first, which are the little licks on the pre-chorus. Now Eddie obviously is famous for using his Frankenstrat guitar and then later on the Ernie Balls. I'm going to be using my beautiful Schecter C1 Classic with the beautiful top. Oh. The part I'm going to be playing goes something like this. In Pro Tools I'm using Bias FX2, and I've got a patch called 6505 the Loner, which is based on the PV6505, which is ultimately a copy of the PV5150 amps that Eddie was famous for bringing to the world. It's got a tube screamer at the front, there's a compressor and delay on there as well, but it sounds pretty cool. Right, let's get on with it. Right, here we are, the solo. Now, I've had a look at the tabs and I've broken this down into 4 sections. So we have the intro section, which is a sort of pentatonic lick, and you've got the pinch harmonics going into a descending lick, and you've got the finger tapping, and then you've got the outro, which is a set of rolling hammer-ons. So let's go into each part. The first part is the descending pentatonic lick, and it goes something like this. Fairly straightforward. Then it goes into the pinch harmonic section. Now I've seen tabs and I've seen videos of people playing the pinch harmonics in different places, but I found that I can consistently get it on the 8th fret on the G string. And that section goes. And then it goes into the finger tapping. Now this is a fairly difficult section because it's pretty quick. But basically it's all played on the 6th and the 9th frets, tapping on the 13th all the way up the strings. And then it goes into 6 and 10 descending. And then it goes into the outro section, which so it's not horrendous. The finger tapping part is a little bit tricky. It's just going to be a lot of practice, so I just need to get practicing. Right then, just going to have a go at it. Sorry, it's a sitting down solo. That was close. Let's try it again. Whoa! think I got it. I think I got it. Yes, boy! That was tough. That's a tricky solo. There's a lot of techniques going on in that. So there's a couple of sloppy parts, but on the whole, I'm chuffed with that. So what have I got left to do? Bit of editing, and we're done. We need to see what this sounds like. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed doing it. It's been a good one to do. It's been difficult, had its challenges, but it's been a cracking one to do. So what have I learnt? I've learnt a lot about synths and MIDI recording. Doing that synth solo note by note was certainly taxing. What else have I learnt? Don't let not knowing how to play an instrument put you off from playing an instrument. I mean, technically, I don't play keyboards, don't play drums, and I'm not a bassist. Yet, I got through that song okay, and I think it sounds fine. So don't be put off. Have a go. So technically, this is my last furloughed video. Back to work. I'm going to keep on doing these videos. Probably won't be as frequent as they have been. As usual, if you have any questions, down below. And if you want, like and subscribe. Right, I shall see you in the next one.